Well, everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and welcome to Wasteland Talks, my weekly talk show where I talk about whatever the hell I want. And this week, got my pal Mike here, and we're going to be talking some TV because it's Emmys time, and weird stuff happened, and we have some results to talk about. But Mike, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Shane. Glad to talk TV with you.
Absolutely. And you can shamelessly plug whatever you'd like to shamelessly plug.
You can follow me on Twitter at Hilty_Mike. That's where I usually post all my articles and ridiculous, movie game results. And then you can find me on mhilty24 on Serialized or for TV or Letterboxd for movies.
There you go. And I can say this because this definitely isn't posting today. It was 2:00 in the morning. I was in the bathroom. I'm like, I'm going to do my framed. And I swear at 2:00 in the morning with my tired eyes, I thought those towers from Dread were 100% AT-ATs from The Last Jedi.
oh, good call with that one.
Yeah, I swear that's what they look like.
They did very much so. I took more tries on that than I'm proud of, but hey, it is what it is. I eventually got there, but
I got on the second try. I'm like, wait a minute, it's definitely Dread. Oh, wait a minute, they're the giant towers.
There we go. Nice.
I've tried some of the other ones. I definitely play framed every day. Yeah. But let's get things started, and I'm using Vanity Fair's list of winners here, so I don't know if they do every category, but at least they do the big ones. And we're going to start with the biggest, and that is Best Drama Series. We had nominees: Yellow Jackets, Stranger Danger Things, Squid Game, Severance, Ozark, in its last try, I guess, Euphoria, Better Call Saul, and its winner, Succession. So, Mike, who did you want to win this one?
Okay, who I wanted to win is completely different from who I thought was going to win. Based on eligibility rules, I thought the first half of the final season of Better Call Saul deserved all the Emmy Awards. I liked it a lot better than the second half. Well, not a lot better, but I liked it. I liked the first half, significantly more. But that doesn't change the fact that this past season of Succession was fantastic. It was great. That final episode was...
That final shot is just like,
oh,
what?
I remember watching that final episode. I was in bed watching it on my phone with my daughter sleeping in between me and my wife, and it was late, so I was watching it, and as soon as I saw that shot where, that person walks in the room, like, oh, how could you? But good for you, man. Good for you.
That is the strange way that show makes you feel, where it's just like, how could you? Oh, I feel good for you.
Yeah. So Succession definitely deserved it. I was rooting for Better Call Saul, though, because I read an article recently that Better Call Saul has been nominated for a lot of Emmys, and it has won 0.
Like a 46?
Which is, look, I get it. There's lots of shows out there who've been nominated for plenty of Emmys and only won a handful of them. However, for a quality show like Better Call Saul to win 0 is utterly insane. And based on some of the other nominees, I thought Severance did have a slight chance because I really liked this season of Severance.
Oh, I did
but,
too.
But I don't know. There's just too many heavy hitters in this category, and that's something that you kind of notice with the drama series and the comedy series, is that there's all these random nominees in here. There's almost too many now, and it's just like I really liked Yellow Jackets. I really did. Mm-hmm. Did I think that it was best drama series nomination worthy? No, probably not. But I liked it. I just didn't like it that much. And the same thing, like, I hate to say it as well, like, same thing with Stranger Things. Like, did I think that it was best drama series worthy? No, no. It was great, but just not worth the nomination.
There's a lot of things I absolutely love about the most recent season of Stranger Things, but there's a lot of things where I'm just like, God, couldn't they have like trimmed this? Like, and I haven't gotten on the Yellow Jackets train yet, but I do need to check that out. And I haven't watched the last full season of Ozark yet. So, and the thing is, I didn't hear a ton of buzz after it came out, so I assumed it wasn't like amazing.
It wasn't. Particularly, I thought the first half, again, I hate these eligibility rules with, like, you know, the part 1, part 2, all that stuff, whatever. But Ozark, the entire final season was eligible, and it was definitely not as strong as I was hoping that it would be. It's kind of similar to how I felt with Euphoria as well. I thought Euphoria season 2 was not a huge letdown, but it was definitely a step down in terms of quality from the previous season. And you could see some of the behind the scenes issues kind of pop up with, you know, certain people in the cast not getting as much time, and just focusing too much attention on certain people as opposed to, you know, the high school students as well. So
yeah,
I didn't understand that choice, but hey, you know, I'm not in charge of the show. But I didn't think Euphoria season 2 was as good as season 1. But and then there was Squid Game. Squid Game was the dark horse that I thought had a slight chance. Kind of in order of, I picked Better Call Saul as my choice. Succession was not far behind. It was pretty much a coin toss between those two.
Yeah.
And then Severance and Squid Game were the two that were like, they could sneak in if something breaks right. And although they didn't, I thought that they were worthy additions, even though it was kind of weird. What's like Squid Game was like, should this have been a drama series? Should this have been a limited series? And then it got renewed for season 2 for some strange reason. So yeah.
That was a phenomenon. And It's pretty cool seeing it getting nominated. And we're going to talk about that a little bit more too. Because I have some feelings.
Oh yeah? Okay.
But getting the comedy series, I have to say this. This is a murderer's row of content, because I'm looking at this list and I love everything on this list. And like, I know there's definitely a couple of the drama ones I wasn't like in love with, but like, we have What We Do in the Shadows, Only Murders in the Building, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, Hacks, Curb Your Enthusiasm, Barry, Abbott Elementary, and the winner, Ted Lasso. So, Mike, who did you want to win this one? And who'd you think was going to win?
I thought Barry was going to sweep a lot of the comedy awards. This past season of Barry was fantastic. It was really great. And dare I say, this is starting to become a little bit of a controversial opinion. I thought Ted Lasso season 2 was good. I didn't think it was great. I thought it had some problems, and I thought it had too many episodes, but it really
kept getting longer.
Yeah, it did.
I'm like, I thought this was a 30-minute show.
I thought it was too, and then all of a sudden, like, episodes are like 48 minutes, and like, I don't know, it was weird, but it really came down to three shows for me. Because you're right, this is a murderer's row. If I was going with my heart, I would have picked Hacks. I really love Hacks, and I really love what they did this past season, but Hacks is never going to have the appeal for everybody there.
Yeah.
But the three shows that it came down to Barry, Ted Lasso, and again, if everything could have broke right, I really thought Abbott Elementary did have a chance, because Abbott Elementary had a lot of that. It had a lot of that momentum going in that you see with where you see with the rare network show that really like captures the audience. It kind of
coming back this week.
I'm very excited about that. And it kind of gave me a Modern Family vibe, which, you know, that makes sense. Same genre, same network, everything like that. So I thought if Abbott Elementary had a good chance, because it feels like it's eventually going to be an Emmys darling. But I just thought from a quality standpoint that I just thought Barry was head and shoulders above what all the other shows from a comedy standpoint were. And maybe it's because this season of Barry was really dark. And
like really dark.
It had some comedic moments, but it's not the feel good story that Ted Lasso is, even though this season of Ted Lasso there were a lot of like down moments and everything like that.
Depression.
But depression, anxiety, you know, trauma, everything, you know. So I thought Barry had the slight edge because both Barry and Ted Lasso, they've both won Emmy Awards before. So I thought that it was, you know, Ted Lasso had its moment in the sun, and then in a head-to-head competition, I thought Barry would have taken it. But at least I thought, it's between these three, and at least I'm still happy that Ted Lasso won, but I thought Barry deserved it a little bit more.
Is What We Do in the Shadows too weird to actually win Emmys?
If Hacks is too dark, What We Do in the Shadows is too weird. I love What We Do in the Shadows. I think it's really great. And if anything, if What We Do in the Shadows is too weird, then that kind of opens the door a little bit more for something like Only Murders in the Building as well. Because that first season is just an unexpected treat. So you're right. Ultimately, it is a murderer's row. I can't think of anything else that I would have replaced in here with something else, but
I don't think so. Because, like, you know, Curb Your Enthusiasm is that's a whole thing in its own, because Larry David's just great at what he does. And I love Hacks. I really do. And Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, interestingly, I feel like has lost a lot of Emmy luster. And I don't know if it's because the competition's stiffer or like the quality is dropped, or I don't know.
I don't think it's a quality drop. I just think the competition has just gotten a lot stiffer. Like I still think it's a great show.
I do too. And then I'm very biased. I wanted What We Do in the Shadows to win, and because this was season 3 that got nominated. There's some place season 4 went that I'm just like, get Matt Berry. Get that man an Emmy.
Oh dear Lord, yes,
and I want to hear his speech.
Oh, that speech is gonna be fantastic.
But seriously, because Ted Lasso and Barry are supposed to be wrapping up, right? So that's a big deal, and so is Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. I think Larry David's just going to keep going until HBO tells them not to.
I mean, if HBO keeps backing up a dump truck of money to his home and be like, "Can you keep doing this?" Why wouldn't he be like, "Wait, I get to be on HBO where I can be as terrible of a human being as I want, and it would be okay, and I get nominated for Emmys for this? Yeah, let's keep doing it."
Just like, F you, see you tomorrow.
Exactly. Yeah.
Limited series or anthology series. I always think this is an interesting distinction, but we got Pam and Tommy, Inventing Anna, the one that's the only one I haven't watched yet. The Dropout, Dope Sick, and winner, The White Lotus. Jennifer Coolidge. Oh, got everybody's attention.
Mm-hmm.
But so, same deal, Mike. Who'd you want to win? Who'd you think was going to win?
I did predict the White Lotus was gonna take this one. I really enjoyed the White Lotus. A little confused on this one. One of them is probably an eligibility thing. One of them, I don't know what happened. I have no idea why Station 11 was not nominated for Best Limited Series.
Ooh, yeah.
I've no idea. Very frustrated about that because I thought Station 11 was among one of the better shows, coming out this past eligibility season.
You are not wrong. That was something special.
I'm also very confused because we'll talk about this a little later. Little confused / frustrated that Under the Banner of Heaven didn't get hardly anything because Andrew Garfield was nominated for Best Actor in a Limited Series. So why wasn't it nominated for Best Limited Series? Why wasn't it, Shane? Why wasn't it?
I am also very confused because if it is eligible, like it obviously was, how did that not get nominated? I would hands down take that over any of them before that I've seen.
Yeah, so I would definitely remove Inventing Anna, and I hate to admit it, I would probably remove Pam and Tommy as well. As much as I thought Pam and Tommy was good, generally a lot better than I was expecting it to be. But yeah, those, like, the Dropout was pretty good. But yeah, that I don't understand why those two were not nominated at all for
that escape, especially Under the Banner. Oh my God, that show was that felt like a whole other level of television.
Yes.
And wow, yep, that's a shame.
So I thought / wanted the White Lotus to win, but I really, of all of these, I thought Dope Sick was really great. It had also that, hey, this is a timely thing that, we should keep talking about, and just kind of a soul crushing series to watch. And I'm glad the White Lotus won, but I would have been very much okay if Dope Sick would have walked away with it too.
Yeah, you bring up some very good points, Mike. They were definitely lacking with some of the nominees there. I thought White Lotus was a crazy ride, but Dope Stick was devastating. Like, I think Pam and Tommy lost it when Jason Mantzoukas started talking.
Yeah. Yep. Sure did.
What is this?
Well, because that was the only time that he talked, per se, it just felt so weird.
So out there. That second episode was by far my least favorite episode. I just thought that was just a fever dream of what the hell am I watching?
That was the one where it kind of chronicles the story of how they got together and such.
I'm just like, this is a whole other level of just ridiculousness.
So that was one where I saw the pilot, I thought it was fine, and then I watched the second episode shortly after that. It was one of those moments where it stopped me in my tracks, and I was like, I'm not mentally prepared to watch the rest of this. So I had to turn it off because it was late at night. It's kind of similar to like the first 5 minutes of this most recent season of The Boys, where I was like, yeah, I am not ready mentally to watch this right now at like 11:30 at night. So I think I'm going to turn this off and wait a day. Watch it in the morning when I'm a little bit more rested. And now that I know that this is coming, but it's It's yeah.
Oh my. Now we got lead actor in a drama series. So we got nominees: Jeremy Strong for Succession, Adam Scott Severance, Bob Odenkirk Better Call Saul, Brian Cox Succession, Jason Bateman Ozark, and winner Lee Jung Jae from Squid Game. Did my Bob Odenkirk dirty?
Yeah. So I thought that this was a three-man race from the start. I thought that Brian Cox was going to take this for Succession because Brian Cox is always great in Succession. Mm-hmm. Doesn't change the fact that my heart really wanted Bob Odenkirk to win something. The man had a heart attack on set, for Christ's sake. Give the man the Emmy. Give it to him for that reason alone. But I'm not mad that Lee Jung-jae won. I'm not mad at that at all. Mm-hmm. I'm happy. I'm very happy for him. He made history with his Emmy win. I'll take it. It was pretty much, I look at this grouping and I was like, as long as Jason Bateman didn't win, I would have been fine. If I'm being perfectly honest. Like, Jason Bateman was great in Ozark. He was better in the previous seasons. This past season, not so much.
Yeah, it definitely seems like Ozark took a step down. But I think it would have been like Adam Scott being there for Severance. That was a nice nomination right there, because that shows something else. Like, I can't remember the last. Well, we just talked about it, Succession. Like the last couple seconds of a season, just being like, what?
That season finale of that first season, The Severance, is some of the best television that you'll ever see. It was tense the whole time. You didn't know what was going to happen. And some of the reveals in that, like, oh, this is who some of these people are in the real world. Oh, was not expecting that. And yeah, it was just so good. You know, like, even like there's some controversy with, you know, what happens to, or what's revealed about Adam Scott's character at the end. I still thought it worked. I still was like, oh, that's good. I'll take that. That's good. But
he was great in the show.
He was so good, and just, it goes to show that Adam Scott is a great comedic actor, but the guy can do anything. Yep. He's so good in a lot of stuff. Like, I've been a fan of Adam Scott since Party Down, so which is a great underrated show. And you know, between that, Parks and Rec, and all the other just random little things that he does.
Step Brothers for me.
Step Brothers is just so good in that. But I don't know. I have a feeling that if Severance keeps going the trajectory that it's going, I'm thinking that his time will come eventually.
I think you all knew what my hope was with my reaction right off the bat. Writing for a drama series, we got Plan and Execution for Better Call Saul, A Hard Way to Go for Ozark, Pilot, Yellow Jackets, F Sharp, Yellow Jackets, One Lucky Day, Squid Game, The We Are, Severance, and winner, All the Bells Say, Succession.
Yeah, okay. I'll give them that one. That's, you're gonna be pretty hard pressed to find, you know, an episode more deserving of that, especially with the twists and turns in that episode, that episode of Succession. Yeah, I'm good with this one. Yeah.
Yeah, I my only one was like, I feel like the writing in Better Call Saul is just on a whole other level, but so Succession. So honestly, that's something else. I don't think there's a whole lot of competition there, to be honest, in this category. Mm-hmm. And soon there's not going to be Better Call Saul to compete here, so which is sad.
It is
So,
going to be sad, which lots of complicated thoughts about that one going into next Emmy Awards season. But yeah, it's got to win something. I don't
yeah,
care what. It's got to win something, and
something.
maybe it'll get kind of a similar to like a lifetime achievement, anything next season. But come on, give it something.
We got directing for a comedy series. We got Hiro Murai from Atlanta, Bill Hader, Barry, Mary Lou Belly, The Miss Pat Show, Shireen Debis from Only Murders in the Building, Jamie Babbitt for Only Murders in the Building, Lucia Aniolo for Hacks, love her, and winner MJ Delaney for Ted Lasso, No Weddings and a Funeral.
That was an interesting one to nominate for Ted Lasso. I don't know, like I'm one who thinks that the second half of this most recent season of Ted Lasso was not as good as the first half, and there were just a couple other episodes that I probably would have nominated. Who like I don't know who directed what,
Yeah.
But which episode of Barry was like?
It was 710N.
Okay, because if it's the episode that I think it is with that motorcycle chase, yeah, that should have gotten the award. Like
the direction in Barry, just in general, is really impressive.
Like particularly, I'm assuming that it is because 710 North, yeah, that makes sense because that's a freeway in California. Yeah. That scene was among one of the best and cool. Like quite frankly, it was a cool scene, or cool shot just to watch him go, or Barry stunt double or whatever going like.
It was Bill Hader.
Just Bill Hader going through traffic, in between those bike or like on a motorcycle, it just running for his life. Like that was so cool to watch. Yeah, that one from a directing standpoint, I thought probably was a little bit more deserving, but I'm not mad that Ted Lasso won the directing for that.
I know like Only Murders in the Building has a lot of great personality about it. I just feel like Barry and Atlanta are both directed in a way that kind of like it kind of transcends you're watching a TV show right now. And I think they're really impressive. Like Atlanta's just like a whole entire like art piece now. And that just came back too. All I can think of is a lady in a scooter.
Oh my god! This past season of Atlanta that was nominated. This past season was weird. It was weird.
Second, Liam Neeson showed up.
Oh, yeah, that's when I was like, wow, this is okay. This is where we're going with this. I did really appreciate what it was trying to do. Like you said it, and that's a great way to put it. Whereas all the rest of these are television, Atlanta and like Barry, that's art right there. So I haven't watched this, any of the episodes from this this newly released season of Atlanta yet. I'm looking forward to it because I think after this run, they're done.
Yep, season 4 is done.
All right.
Yeah, some of these big shows are going bye-byes, and there'll be some voids to fill moving forward. Leading actress in a comedy series, we got Issa Rae, Insecure, Elle Fanning, The Great, Kaylee Cuoco, The Flight Attendant, Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary, Rachel Brosnahan, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and winner, Jean Smart, Hacks.
If Jean Smart rightfully won the Emmy for her first season of Hacks, and she was better this season, which is an impossible feat.
Yep.
So I predicted Jean Smart would win, and I also predicted that Jean Smart would probably win pretty handedly as well. This isn't to say that a lot of other people in this category weren't deserving, because the two that I would probably single out as people that had probably the best chance. Issa Rae in Insecure is just fantastic, and her new show on HBO Max HBO is fantastic as well. You could see her fingerprints all over. Exactly, or is it rap exclamation point?
We're adults here.
Fair enough. But kind of similar to the comedy series, I think Quinta Brunson. It's only a matter of time.
Yep. 100%.
Before Abbott Elementary just becomes the Emmys darling and I hope it doesn't overstay its welcome, kind of similar to how Modern Family kind of overstayed its welcome with the comedy awards. But if this season knocks it out of the park, it's going to sweep everything.
How much legs do you think Hacks has? Because I don't feel like this show's built to be something that's going to be on for like 6-7 seasons. I even feel like where the story's going, it kind of feels like it's trying to get to its natural conclusion.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't be surprised if it only has like another season.
Yeah.
So good for Jean Smart. She was great.
It got a pretty late renewal. But also, given where we end in season 2, where else can we go?
Yeah, that's kind of how I was feeling about it. And so it'll be interesting to see where it goes. Why the flight attendant season 2 even exist? Besides the fact that it was popular and HBO wanted it.
Well, I don't know. I feel like the flight attendant, if the first season of the flight attendant was on HBO Max during this current regime, it probably would only be one season.
Yep, 100%.
So, yeah, it was weird. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I thought The Great was a limited series when I watched that first season.
I thought it was going to be too, and then when something becomes popular, then why not, right?
And we'll only see Rachel Brosnahan one more time, and we will see her one more time. Yeah. I feel like that's almost guaranteed. Mm-hmm. Now, lead actress in a drama series: Reese Witherspoon, The Morning Show; Sandra Oh, Killing Eve. Speaking of things we won't be seeing again, Melanie Linsky for Yellow Jackets; Laura Linney, Ozark. Half of these are popping up again. Jodie Comer for Killing Eve, and Zendaya for Euphoria. Who won?
Yeah. This was, in my opinion, one of the weaker categories, because I take a look at this and I see no clear standout. First of all, I would probably toss out the Reese Witherspoon one if it was my choice. I thought The Morning Show season 2 was a giant letdown. I get what they were trying to do, and I've heard that there was a lot of rewrites and trying to COVID changed a lot because COVID changed everything. Of course it did. But I feel like it was a mishmash of a bunch of different stories, and none of them worked.
They even ruined Billy Crudup for me, because he was amazing in that first season. I'm like, he has no right to be stealing the show from everybody. And I feel like they flanderized him. And then I'm just like, I don't like you anymore. No. And yeah, they even got Martin Short.
Yeah.
I didn't get the second season of the morning show.
No, I didn't either. So that Zendaya almost felt like the default winner,
Yep.
which
Which is she even a lead in Euphoria anymore?
well,
Based on
here's the problem with all of these shows with giant ensembles. Can you consider any of these people leads? Because I've
well,
just
I guess
because
Killing Eve.
I get yeah.
Yeah,
So
the two of them are.
so I didn't feel good about any of these people, so I literally tossed a coin and I was like, Sandra Ooh, okay, fine. I'll do that because I thought final run, that final season was, pretty it was pretty good, I guess generally. Um I I despised Laura Linney's character in Ozark, especially towards the latter half, and this past season was no different. Like it solidified as like, is Laura Linney the true villain of Ozark? I think so. I think it might be true. And kind of similar to what we're talking about with is Hacks Too Dark? I Yellow Jackets is kind of in that same vein. It's like, is it too dark and weird? And Melanie Linsky's character in that is dark. There's a lot going on there.
Because to be perfectly honest, I don't even know anything about the show. I don't even know what it's
Oh,
about. So I'm going in blind when I wind up
good
watching it.
good call, because that's another one. Maybe not exactly like, it's obviously not in the same category as The Boys, but like it's one of those things like the first 5 minutes, like, oh, was not expecting that. Okay, I see where this is going now. So, and then you get it more into the show. It's like, nope, that is not where I thought this was going at all. I think Yellow Jackets. I really like Yellow Jackets, and I think it's among one of the better shows, particularly on Showtime as well. Which I know that's not saying a lot, but Showtime, but Yellow
Which will now be
Jackets,
Paramount Plus streaming service.
which I'm completely fine with if that's the case. But yeah, Yellow Jackets is definitely one I would definitely recommend.
Also, where's my love for Taylor Sheridan? All the middle-aged white people in America want to know where Yellowstone is. 1883, though, my God, emotionally devastating.
Yes, I would have to agree with this. Paramount Plus, curiously absent from a lot of these nominations, but hey,
where's my South Park?
Right.
Oh, all their specials still kill me. They got me. I've been watching that show since I was like 7 years old. But we got directing for a drama series, and guess what? The half of these are Succession.
Right.
Kathy Yan, Succession. Ben Stiller, Severance. Lorraine Scafaria, Succession. Mark Mylod, Succession. Karen Kusama, Yellow Jackets. Jason Bateman, Ozark. And winner, Hwang Dong-hyuk for Squid Game. Red light, green light.
Right. Yeah.
The episode that broke the internet.
Yeah, that should have won. Not far behind that though was Ben Stiller for Severance.
Right?
Just so good in that, but I'm good with Squid Game. That just yeah, that
that show though, like who saw that coming? Nobody.
But I'm also very nervous. How can you top season 1?
They're gonna try.
Money speaks volumes, doesn't it? It's a sad state that we live in, but whatever. It is what it is.
Squid Game, I definitely think should have won that. Writing for a comedy series, Stephanie Robinson, What We Do in the Shadows. I wonder if there's any relations.
Hmm.
Colin Robinson. Sarah Neftalis, What We Do in the Shadows. Jane Becker, Ted Lasso. Steve Martin and John Hoffman, Only Murders in the Building. Bill Hader and Alec Berg, Barry. Duffy Boudreau, Barry. Lucia Aniolo, Paul W. Downs, and Jen Statsky, Hacks. And then winner Quinta Brunson, Abbott Elementary.
I'm good with this one. And also give her a special award for putting up with Jimmy Kimmel's crap as well.
The award for putting up with stupid late night talk show hosts.
Right. Boy, talk about tone deaf and disrespectful. Like, honestly, like, what was he thinking? Like, he's been a host of award shows, like prominent award shows, not like these fake ones or anything like that. What are you doing? What are you doing? Give people their chance, like, to just speak and just to, give a heartfelt speech. But no, you had to be a dick and ruin it. Good job. Ugh. Yeah.
Soiled it. There's some great writing here, to be honest.
There is, the
Casino for What We Do in the Shadows.
That was such a great episode.
That should have won an Emmy just for the opening.
I know.
Because being from New Jersey, actually, so this is important. Being from South Jersey, the Atlantic City episode from What We Do in the Shadows, and just Abbott Elementary to begin with, because I'm pretty sure the one character in the show is my cousin.
Stuff.
Because South Philly Italians, just they're so on point, so on point.
This was a pretty strong category because the writing duo for Only Murders in the Building, that was really great. And even like the writing for Barry was just so good.
Bill Hader, like, seriously, he's doing a lot and it's really showing.
Yep.
Now we got lead actor in a comedy series. So we got Steve Martin Short for Only Murders in the Building. Nicholas Hoult, the great. And yes, I am clarifying, both Steve Martin and Martin Short nominated. Bill Hader for Barry, Donald Glover, Atlanta, and winner Jason Sudeikis for Ted Lasso. I'm glad his acceptance was less weird.
Yeah, it was very, very weird.
I'm surprised there wasn't some kind of stunt from like Olivia Wilde.
Because that's what she needs right now. More
because
more
Don't
drama.
Worry, Darling needed any more drama.
Right. So I love Steve Martin Short. I thought they were both great, but this is something weird about the Emmys because I feel like there are certain categories where like half the cast of one show is nominated for a particular category. And we'll get to, I'm assuming maybe we may get to that or maybe not. I don't know. But I thought that this was a two-person race between Sudeikis and Bill Hader. I thought Bill Hader was fantastic in this most recent season of Barry, but I get why Jason Sudeikis won. But Bill Hader in this most recent season of Barry was just devastating.
Yep.
Just in that final episode alone, with just all the things that he goes through, like everything with Sally, and then just everything with Gene. Oh, that was. I'm upset that he didn't win, but I get why Jason Sudeikis win because Also, he did some great work
Yep.
this season as well. Between that final conversation that he has with Nate in the final episode, and just every moment that he had with the therapist. I can't remember her name. Just all of that great stuff.
Have to say, come season 2 of Only Murders in the Building, I loved what Steve Martin put forward in that. So that's something I definitely want to look at next year. But like, you're going to get another Jason Sudeikis and another Bill Hader performance.
Yeah.
And probably their last ones. I feel like Only Murders in the Building is going to be one of those things they're just going to keep milking it. They run out of ideas.
That show will probably go as far as I don't know, like the way that this most recent season ended, like I thought was like, how much more crazy can we get with this? And then that final episode is like, just wait. We got something planned.
They sure as hell do.
So I have a feeling that that show will go on as long as Selena Gomez is willing to continue with them as well.
Yep. We got writing for a limited or anthology series or movie. We got Molly Smith Metzler for Maid. Didn't get to watch that one. Sarah Burgess, Impeachment, American Crime Story. I'll get to that in a second. Danny Strong, Dope Sick. Patrick Somerville, Station 11. So they were aware of it. Elizabeth Merriweather, The Dropout, and winner, Mike White, Jack Black's best friend from School of Rock, The White Lotus. That still blows my mind.
Yeah.
That's the same guy. Yeah. But just real quick, Impeachment, American Crime Story didn't deserve anything.
Really?
Me, that felt way too long and drawn out. And like, that could have easily just been a TV movie and been 2 hours and got the same point over.
You mean it's a Ryan Murphy property, so it's just beaten into the ground to some extent or another? What? Really? I kind of disagree with you. I thought of the 3 American crime story, I was about to say American Horror Story, but American Crime Stories, I loved this season the most.
That's interesting.
Despite the fact that that first season with OJ was just like, I remember all of this. Well, not exactly, because I was like 10, so I didn't really understand what was going on, but I remember a lot of this very vividly. But I really liked this past season. So
I'm glad you enjoyed it a lot more than I did. I felt like I was slogging through that each week. It could have also been that they made me watch it with commercials on my Hulu Live TV. But what did you think deserved to win for this one?
This was a tough call because I really liked Station 11. Yep, I really did. Too. So, and for that to be the only thing that was really nominated was frustrating, to say the least. So I guess I'd go with that, but I also really like Dope Sick though too. But this is another one where remind me again, Under the Banner of Heaven, nowhere to be found.
Nope.
For this. Okay, I'm done talking now because now I'm just frustrated.
Basically, we're boycotting every category related to limited series, anthology series, or movie because how much disrespect.
Well, let's just put it this way. I'm just glad that no, like, none of the Marvel series got in on this as well, because quite frankly, none of them deserved it. To be perfectly honest, like maybe Loki, I guess, but
Was Loki eligible?
it should have been, because Loki was what? Was it last?
May?
Was it last
June?
May? Oh God, that seems so long ago.
Because I feel like that was last. Because what are the cutoff dates?
The cutoff dates, I actually have this in my article. So the cutoff dates for eligibility were June 1st, 2021 until May 31st, 2022.
Yep, I don't think Loki counted. And to be honest, since then, no.
No, nothing.
Maybe Andor for Star Wars. Heard a lot of great things about that so far.
I've heard some pretty great things about that so far too, so I'm looking forward to that.
We'll have to see. But directing for a limited or anthology series or movie, we got John Wells Made, Danny Strong Dope Sick, Michael Showalter, The Dropout, Hiro Murai for Station 11, Francesca Gregorini for The Dropout, and winner Mike White for White Lotus.
Station 11 was beautifully shot.
Mm-hmm.
Station 11 should have won this award. Just plain and simple. The White Lotus was great. It was, but it did not have, like, because I reviewed it for SiftPop, and I remember there were a couple shots that I was like, I'm gonna remember those.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just the directing in Station 11, especially since it is about something, like, it is about how the world needs art in the face of adversity. How much more on the nose can you get about that in the middle of a global pandemic? You can't. So I think Station 11 should have gotten, like, if there were all these technical awards for best limited or anthology series, all of that should have gone to Station 11. But whatever, it's fine. It is what it is. I'm not salty about this at all.
I agree. I'm also not salty.
No.
Now, lead actress in a limited or anthology series, we got Margaret Qualley for Maid, Sarah Paulson, because she's in every American story, Impeachment, American Crime Story, Lily James, Pam and Tommy, a woman who made me actually feel bad for Pam Anderson. Julia Garner for Inventing Anna, Toni Collette, The Staircase, and Amanda Seyfried, The Dropout, our winner.
Another category that was, in my opinion, pretty weak. I picked Amanda Seyfried by default because I thought she did a fantastic job, but I think in any other year she probably would not have gotten nominated. But I look at this grouping and I'm wondering, number one, maybe she's not considered a lead actress, but Daisy Edgar Jones from Under the Banner of Heaven. Where is she in all of this? And also, where is the lead from Station 11? Like, that is the theme. Yeah, that's the theme of most of these from limited series or movie. Where is Under the Banner of Heaven? Where is Station 11? So
also, apparently no movies
worthy
of, which, does that count any streaming film that doesn't get a theatrical release?
That is a great question from an eligibility standpoint. I don't,
because I feel like
there's been a lot. There's been a lot of good ones. So
I appreciate Lily James because she did legitimately make me feel sympathy and empathy for Pamela Anderson.
Yep. I agree.
Supporting actress in limited series or anthology series or movie, we got Mare Winningham for Dope Sick, Sydney Sweeney, The White Lotus, Natasha Rothwell, The White Lotus, Caitlin Deaver for Dopesick, Alexandra Daddario, oh my God, for The White Lotus, Connie Britton, The White Lotus, and Jennifer Coolidge, our winner, The White Lotus. Oh,
I don't understand how you don't semi-diversify all this stuff, but whatever, it's fine. I picked Jennifer Coolidge by default because I was like, it's going to be one of the people from The White Lotus, even though I thought Caitlin Deaver in Dopesick was just heartbreaking.
yeah.
Like, come on. So although like I think the performances in The White Lotus are all great, but can't we like slide some of those people out and like can't we just come on? Like what are we doing?
What are we doing? We got supporting actor in a comedy series. Bowen Yang, Saturday Night Live. Henry Winkler for Barry. Tyler James Williams, Abbott Elementary. They Hate Chris. Tony Shalhoub, The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel. Nick Mohammed, Ted Lasso. Tahib Jamo, Ted Lasso. Anthony Kerrigan, Barry, and our winner, Roy effing Kent. Brett Goldstein, Ted Lasso.
He's there. He's every fucking where. Roy Kent. So I'm not mad that Roy Kent won his second Emmy for this. I'm not upset about that, especially considering just how much growth he goes through this past season. However, that does not change the fact that Henry Winkler in this past season of Barry just
yep.
He deserved it so much. And this is also coming from somebody that I think NoHo Hank from Barry is among one of the greatest supporting characters, you know, in the last like 20, 30 years. So I wouldn't have been mad if Anthony Kerrigan would have walked away with it, but I thought this was Henry Winkler's in the bag. And I guess Apple TV just has a great, you know, awards push and everything like that. So although I'm not mad that Brett Goldstein won, I think Henry Winkler definitely deserved it a little bit more.
Oh, Henry Winkler's great, but I want to know, where was Sting?
Wouldn't that technically count more as like a guest role?
Oh, I guess so. Never mind. I just wanted to throw that out there.
Sting was so good in just very limited time. It just made the moment count. Yeah, Sting was great in Only Murders in the Building.
No acting nominations for What We Do in the Shadows. Makes me very sad.
The Emmys are
amazing.
The Emmys are depriving their audience of what could be perhaps just one of those great epic speeches.
Any of them, like any of them coming up there winning. Oh my God, especially Matt Berry.
Particularly Matt Berry, yep.
I would love it. And if I forget what his actual name is, but if Colin Robinson came up there in character to accept his award, that would have been the most amazing thing ever. Just putting that out there. But yeah, Henry Winkler is amazing in this most recent season. Supporting actress in a comedy series. Hannah Waddingham from Ted Lasso, Juno Temple, Ted Lasso, Sarah Niles, Ted Lasso, Kate McKinnon, Saturday Night Live, Janelle James, Abbott Elementary, Hannah Einbender from Hacks. How is she? I'm going to get that for a second. It's Alex Borstein from The Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and winner Cheryl Lee Ralph for Abbott Elementary. How? Hacks?
Yeah, that is probably an HBO nomination thing, like, because she's definitely not a supporting actress. She should be.
She's the main character.
And when we get to a supporting actress in a drama series, we will be having a very similar discussion about one of the nominees. But
I just looked at it and realized exactly who you're talking about.
You know. I thought of all these nominees, I loved Sarah Niles in Ted Lasso. I thought she brought a gravitas that the show kind of needed. Somebody who, just somebody who could go toe to toe with Ted to some extent or another and see through some of the optimism and everything like that and see this guy's in some pain too. However, Cheryl Lee Ralph in Abbott Elementary is great. She, her character, she's the straight woman in the show. So she's got a lot of heavy lifting to do while still bringing her comedy chops. And by far, probably one of the best speeches of the night came from her as well, because it was so heartfelt and it was just coming from somebody who has worked so hard to get to this point and to finally get some recognition for it was just great to see, because that's what it's all about for the acting profession. But that and look, Jimmy Kimmel didn't sit down for her award, so so that's nice.
Terrible. But yeah, I still don't get the Hacks nominee, but like Sarah Niles was great in Ted Lasso, but I love the cast in Abbott Elementary so much. Yes, supporting actress in a drama series: Sydney Sweeney, Euphoria; Sarah Snook, Succession; J. Smith Cameron, Succession; Rhea Seehorn, Better Call Saul. What? Christina Ricci, Yellow Jackets; Ho Yeon, Squid Game; Patricia Arquette, Severance; and winner Julia Garner, Ozark. So you put Rhea Seehorn in this category, and how does she not win?
Yeah. A lot to be said about this. First of all, the fact that this is her first nomination for this role as well is criminal. It is criminal. To be put in the supporting actress category as well is also criminal. The fact that she did not win was a travesty, absolute travesty. She was so amazing in this first half of Better Call Saul.
And she should have been an easy winner for actress in the right category.
Yes. Looking at this, so this is something that I'm kind of annoyed about with the Emmys, because Julia Garner, I had to look this up. She's won the Emmy 3 times for Ozark. Not to say that she doesn't deserve it, because she's great in the show. However, that does not change the fact that Rhea Seehorn was just simply better and has always been better. So I kind of annoyed that the Emmys just keep going to the same well, and they're just like, yep, you're still doing great work. Let's, continue to shower awards on this one person. It's kind of annoying, like, because the Emmys, they do have a habit of this where they will just award the same person over and over again.
Yeah.
They did the same thing with the Breaking Bad guys, and they also did the same thing with, like, who was it? The guy who plays Sheldon on Big Bang Theory. He won a bunch of the awards.
Jim Parsons.
Times. Yeah, that's the guy. I don't understand what anybody at Better Call Saul has to do to win something, even though this is a pretty great category, because like Patricia Arquette in Severance was just on another level. She was really great. Little curious what Sydney Sweeney was doing here, but I guess she was the better of the supporting actresses in Euphoria. But again, I don't know. Like, I think Sydney Sweeney capitalized on like at other people's expense on Euphoria. And again, we've got all these people from Succession in here. Like, when we get to the best supporting actor category, most of that's from Succession as well. So, but yeah, Christina Ricci was a surprise because she is so unbelievably weird, but she's great in it as well. But all of this to just keep pushing out the fact that Rhea Seehorn deserved this. She should not have even been in this category. She should have been in the best supporting, or she should have been in the lead actress category. I don't get why they did that. And the Emmys are forever on the list because of it.
There you go. And let's get ready to S word here in the supporting actor in a drama series.
Oh man, you're right. Yeah.
Oh Yeong-soo, Squid Game, John Turturro, Severance, Christopher Walken, Severance, Park Hae-soo, Squid Game, Kieran Culkin, Succession, Billy Crudup, The Morning Show, Nicholas Braun, Succession, and winner Matthew McFadden, Succession.
If the events of the final episode would not have happened the way that it did, I don't think he would have won, but it did, and he deserved to win because those final moments, oh, so good. The only other person that I thought was maybe a little bit more deserving was John Turturro in Severance. I really loved his performance. It was one that I thought John Turturro was perhaps the best performance out of everybody in Severance, which is saying a lot because everybody does a fantastic job in Severance. But I'm good with somebody from Succession winning an acting category. Tom in particular, I'll take it.
Yep. That between Severance and Succession, there's a lot going around here. The two Squid Game nominees, and like I said, Billy Crudup really fell off in this. Like, he really feels like the odd man out in this category at this point. And I guess you could even like, where's Jonathan Banks? Like, easily could have went in there. Tony Dalton.
Oh, Tony Dalton was great.
Especially for the previous season. Did he get nominated?
I don't know.
I bet he did. Now we got supporting actor in a limited or anthology series or movie. Sam Worthington, Wyatt Russell, Gil Birmingham. Where the hell are any of them? I keep beating that bush. Actual nominees: Steve Zahn, The White Lotus, Michael Stuhlbarg, Dope Sick, Peter Sarsgaard, Dope Sick, Seth Rogen, Pam and Tommy, Will Poulter, Dope Sick, Jake Lacey, The White Lotus, and winner Murray Bartlett, The White Lotus.
Yeah, Murray Bartlett deserved it for The White Lotus. The only other one that I'd be more okay with, like, I guess, Peter Sarsgaard from Dope Sick does a great job in that, and just kind of the ultimate underdog story from something like that. Just, these two guys just investigating, just medical malpractice on a grand scale from a business. Yeah, I much rather would have had that, but that's just me.
There you go. And we got one more. And as lead actor in a limited series or anthology series or movie, we got Sebastian Stan, Pam and Tommy. Himesh Patel, Station 11. Oscar Isaac, Scenes from a Marriage. Andrew Garfield, Under the Banner of Heaven Exists. Colin Firth, The Staircase, and winner Michael Keaton, Dopesick.
I'm going to preface this by saying Michael Keaton definitely deserved a win because I thought he was fantastic. And Michael Keaton over the last couple of years has just been reminding everybody subtly, it's like, hey, I'm still here and I am great at this. You're welcome, everybody. However, what Andrew Garfield did in Under the Banner of Heaven was so amazing. And I thought that he should have ran away with this award. Andrew Garfield is doing some of the best work that he's ever done. And because it was between these two and Himesh Patel for Station 11, because as the de facto, I guess, like lead in that, I thought Jeevan's story in that was just really great. Just the ins and outs and everything that happened. Yeah, it was so good. But in a head-to-head between Michael Keaton and Andrew Garfield, I thought Andrew Garfield like should have hands down won this, but that's just
he did not. And show did not get enough attention at all to begin with. Yeah. Very sad.
Yep.
But so, Mike, do you have any general thoughts that you want to throw out there in terms of this year's Emmys?
Two thoughts. One, it was too long, and two, Kenan Thompson as the host was terrible. I think this needs to go away from NBC because NBC obviously because they've had SNL hosts the last couple of years hosted, and they need to stop doing that because number one, Kenan Thompson would have been a great host if he would have added in, or he would have been a fine host if he would have added in some SNL stuff, but he didn't. So I don't know if that's the fault of him or the writing or what have you, but it just, I get this urge for places to, or for awards ceremonies to go without an MC or a host. But I don't know. We just need to do better with this. And those are the two main things. Like, it was too long. And that's because they've got a ton of categories they got to get through. They even relegate a lot like off screen now, which, it's frustrating and sucks for all the people who do, a lot of the behind the scenes work, just because it's not a sexy category like acting or anything like that. Shouldn't discount the fact that these people are working really hard and are really good at what they do. Those are the main things. And I guess the only other thing, along with our big gripes about, Better Call Saul never winning anything, and the lack of Under the Banner of Heaven and Station 11, just personally for me, the fact that Pachinko was only nominated for one thing on Apple TV Plus is ridiculous. It's among one of the better shows of this year, and for it to just get one for a throwaway award, best opening title sequence, like that's a shame, but whatever, I'll get over it.
I feel like going into next year, obviously there's going to be a big spotlight on those last 6 episodes of Better Call Saul. We have the last of a couple of big series coming, and I feel like there's going to be some pretty big voids in some of the categories going into next year. So open season for some people, and it's always interesting to see what kind of limited series pop up, but hopefully they don't snub the best one.
I'm looking at some of the shows that have come out recently that would probably be a little bit more eligible, because like the Lord of the Rings show is going to get most of the technical awards, right? Like, go ahead. Amazon clearly spent all this money on the technical stuff for this. Give it to them. Fine. Whatever. It is what it is. But I'm looking at, some of these that could be, in the running. I think FX is going to make a killing next year at the awards with between The Bear and The Old Man so far. Those have both been really good. Let's see what else. Apple TV next year is gonna do really well, particularly in the limited category series, because I'm curious to see what's gonna happen or who's gonna emerge on top, Blackbird or 5 Days at Memorial.
Yep.
I'm very curious to see which one of those is going to take it, because
it's interesting because you have a lot of actresses in 5 Days and then actors in the Blackbird. Ray Liotta going to be getting something.
Mm-hmm. Yep, it certainly does feel like that, doesn't it?
And God, Paul Walterhauser's just so uncomfortable in that.
But he's doing some great work, even though he's creepy and just so uncomfortable. And then you contrast that with, wow, you're the guy in Cobra Kai as well. Like,
yeah,
wow, you've got a lot of range, don't you?
He's Stingray going around singing Judas by Fozzy. House of the Dragon is going to be coming in. Like, Matt Smith is rolling up there for supporting 100%. And you're going to have multiple versions of these same characters. Like, obviously, we haven't seen the older versions yet, but like, damn, the younger versions killed it.
Yep, they sure are. I can't believe how good that show is so far. Like, I just can't. Good for them. Good for them.
Just, and it makes me so uncomfortable. Just every time that Matt Smith just shows up, and like, damn, he had some moments in this most recent episode. God, ridiculous. I'm just looking at the shows that I'm presently watching. Like, do you think Reservation Dogs is going to start getting some actual attention?
No, because it's just too good for any recognition. Like, again, nothing, absolutely nothing for Reservation Dogs, which I suppose I should have pointed that out as well, but it is what it is. But
yes,
Reservation Dogs was my favorite show of all of last year. It was just that good. And this season is pretty great too. So I think it's just it doesn't fit in the typical, like, which is weird to say, because you look at some of the shows in all these categories, like, this doesn't fit in the typical mold. But yeah.
Do you think, John, have you been watching American Gigolo at all?
Not yet.
Wonder if John Bernthal is coming for that Best Actor in Limited Series.
It's a good question. I don't know.
We'll have to see. And also, it made me happy, and this might seem like a jerk thing, but like, I don't want to see The Handmaid's Tale get any more nominations. I just want that show to end.
It should have ended a little while ago. That
still got to put up with another season after this season.
I don't get it, but I guess the show is now more relevant than ever, given that, everything that's going on in the US. But this show should have ended like a couple seasons ago.
Yeah,
really should have.
But this was an extensive one. But Mike, thank you so much for sticking it out and going through like all of the major awards for the Emmys.
There's only one that I did want to point out that I thought was very much deserving, and it was the best guest star in I think it was a drama series, because Coleman Domingo for Euphoria, dare I say, Coleman Domingo is the best character in Euphoria, and I feel like
Can't argue with you.
if we get more of him, I'm fine with that, as opposed to some of the other adults that they're propping up there. Just saying.
Yeah, there's a lot of I'm like, why?
What are we doing?
Why?
What are we doing? Yeah.
But Mike, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you. Appreciate it, Shane.
Thank all of you for tuning in and always supporting your Wasteland Reviewer.